So the real question is Bryan going to give up the secret to this fried chicken? What are you going to do? Are you going to give it up?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the whole story. Otherwise, this would have been an awkward 30 minutes or so, wouldn't it?
A lot of filler.
We worked really hard to uncover the secrets to one of the most popular fast food fried chickens. And I'm happy to report that this chicken is as much about the frying process and technique as it is the flavor.
Okay.
But it all starts with a buttermilk brine. I have 2 cups of buttermilk here. And to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of table salt. And we're just going to whisk that until it's fully dissolved. Okay, and to that, we're going to add 3 pounds of chicken parts. Now, this is broken down from a 4-pound chicken. Drumsticks and thighs are going to go in the brine as is. A lot of our fried chicken recipes, we ask you to cut the split chicken breast in half. So this is a bone-in piece of chicken breast. And the reason why we do that is because we want this big piece of chicken to match the size of the thigh and the drumstick, so all the chicken cooks at the same rate. So we're just going to cut crosswise, a little bit left of center here, just so we have similar weights for both sides.
Right.
So now we're going to put this chicken in the buttermilk brine, make sure it's all submerged. And while it's in the brine, that salt's going to work on the chicken to change the structure of the protein so the meat holds on to more moisture as it cooks, and it's also going to season the chicken.
All right.
So we're going to cover this with plastic wrap and refrigerate it for at least an hour or up to a full 24 hours.
Sounds good.
It is time to get started on our coating. So I have 3 cups of flour here. And to that, we're going to add an array of spices. We're going to start off with 3 tablespoons of ground white pepper, 1 tablespoon of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Never in a million years would have thought of adding this.
No.
The original recipe that we found had a little bit of dried oregano, dried basil, dried sage. Rather than add all those individual dried herbs, we just opted for Italian seasoning, which contains a little bit of each of those, plus a few more. 1 tablespoon of baking powder for a little bit of lift, and 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. We're just going to whisk this all together, all these spices and herbs in. And now, one of the things we like to do here at the Test Kitchen with our fried chicken is give it some nice nooks and crannies, some little craggy bits, as some like to say.
Rough texture.
Right. So we're going to add 6 tablespoons of buttermilk and just rub it in with our hands. So you can see we have these little bits of dough, and that's exactly what we're going for. And that's going to fry up really nice and crispy on the chicken. So now we're ready to dredge the chicken in the flour mixture. I'm going to work with 1 piece at a time, and I really want to press the chicken into the flour mixture to make it adhere.
Okay.
Then we're going to transfer it over here to our wire rack. Let any excess buttermilk drip off, and then go right in, cover it up, and give it the squeeze. I think this is a very important step. A lot of people at this point will take the chicken and shake all of this coating off. I like to just lift it up, let it hang, and anything that falls off, great, but I don't want to shake it because as we let this chicken sit, a lot of the coating is going to start to adhere, so we're going to have an extra thick coating. And another reason why I'm doing these pieces one at a time, because I want to pay attention to where the skin side of the chicken is. We need to start this chicken off in our hot oil, skin side down. Letting them rest here on the rack, skin side up, kind of takes the guesswork out of that. So I'm going to continue breading all these pieces, and we'll transfer this sheet tray of chicken to the refrigerator to let it sit for at least an hour, up to 2 hours, so the coating really starts to adhere to the chicken. It's time to start frying our chicken. Now, a couple things I want to point out before we start. The first is we're going to start all the chicken in the pot, skin side down. The second important thing with this recipe, and it differs from a lot of our other recipes, is that we're using half the amount of oil that we typically use. We usually call for 3 quarts of oil. This is 1.5 quarts of oil. And the reason we're able to use less oil and fry all this chicken in one single batch is because we're going to use a lid to trap a lot of that heat for the first 10 minutes of cooking. So we're using vegetable oil here, and we're going to heat it up to 350 degrees. There you go. And now we could go ahead and start layering in our chicken. I'm going to layer the chicken in around the perimeter of the pot first, shingling it a little bit if I need to, and then lay the last piece or 2 in the center. One of the things about adding chicken to hot oil, your instinct is to move the food in your hand as far away from the oil as possible, but a lot of times that causes the oil to splash up on you. So you kind of actually want to get close to the oil and just let it fall gently in there. Okay, we're going to let this chicken go for 5 minutes. Again, we're going to put a lid on it, and we'll come back and we'll give the pot a 180 rotation because the burner is going to heat the bottom of that pot unevenly, and the chicken is resting right on the bottom of that pot, so it has a tendency to cook unevenly as well.
Okay.
It's been about 5 minutes. We're going to rotate the pot 180 degrees. These handles are hot, so make sure you use towels or pot holders. And we're gonna let the chicken go for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Bridget, it's been 10 minutes and we can uncover our chicken. Smells wonderful.
Smells wonderful, sounds wonderful.
But if you look at the top pieces of the chicken, they're a little bit gray and mottled and they don't look perfect.
I did not say it looked great.
So we need to flip the chicken over so that top portion continues to cook and gets nice and crispy like the bottom. So it's very delicate at this point, so we want to carefully flip all these pieces over. We're going to let this chicken continue to cook for another 8 minutes or so until the bottom portion is brown and the white meat hits 160 degrees and the dark meat hits 175 degrees.
Okay, and lid off now?
Lid off from this point on. It's been about 8 minutes and we're ready to take the temp on some of our chicken pieces here. I want to find one of the breast pieces because those tend to be a little bit thicker and they cook actually slower than some of the dark meat. All right, 162. So we could rest all of our chicken on our paper towel lined wire rack here.
Oh my gosh. It might be the prettiest chicken I've ever seen.
It's a looker. Golden brown, delicious. Just want to give it a little bit of a shake as we remove it from the oil to get any excess to drop off of it. Now, this chicken is hot and we want to let it cool down for at least 10 minutes before we dig in. Bridget, it's been 10 minutes. A painful 10 minutes, and we're ready to finally dig into our chicken.
Yes.
May I?
Please, thank you. Oh.
Okay, go ahead and...
No forks, no knives. Oh, it smells great. That's some good fried chicken right there.
And we just gave everyone the secret to it.
You know it's really good fried chicken? When it's noisy. Exactly. There's some serious crunch in here. I think it's all the craggy bits. There's some spice in there.
Yeah, the ginger really changes the whole flavor profile of this. Against the pepper, and especially all that white pepper.
And the meat is nice and seasoned.
Thanks to that buttermilk brine.
That is some mighty fine chicken.
Thank you.
Can't believe you shared the recipe with all of us.
It's just between us.
Is it?
You don't tell anybody, okay?
I will not tell a soul. Except you. And you gotta make this chicken. This easy go-to recipe starts by brining chicken in buttermilk. Create a coating by cutting more buttermilk into a flour mixture. Coat the chicken and refrigerate. Fry the chicken in just one batch, covered first and then uncovered to finish. Let it cool for a moment and then eat that chicken as fast as you can. So from Cook's Country, the secret is out. It's our one batch fried chicken. And that's one good recipe.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.